Hello and welcome from sunny Tuscany in Italy. We are back to Conelanders GT3 League. My name is Ilya Babansky, joined by Mathew, Ruda in the commentary box.
Hey guys.
We totally haven't done a thing right now, and it's totally not about 3 weeks late. But here we are.
Totally.
Here we are, second race of the season. Here you see Gunsis, who took the pole here. We're gonna have a 20-lap race around this circuit. And this is gonna be a fun one, eh?
Yeah, no, definitely not really a true racetrack, but then again, the Miata race last season proved to be exciting for all the wrong reasons, but still exciting. So hopefully we can replicate that here today.
Very true. And here we have a 1-minute car showcase. One of the vehicles of this season is Lamborghini Huracan GT3. You can see stats here. Pretty stock GT3 spec, 6-speed gearbox, 365 brake horsepower.
300?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think that's right. I don't think there's a Lamborghini out there today with 300 horsepower.
Well, maybe. But
Try 500.
the car that is a monster on a straight but cannot turn.
Basically, yeah. Understeer, even before the recent Tire Model 10 update, was always a big problem for the Lambo. Fuel, not so much. It didn't need to do any weird kind of crap with the consumption levels to try to even them out. It's a decent car. I've driven it. I prefer the Glick to it, but you know, it is what it is.
Which is not GT3, but I digress. Well,
Yeah.
this
Oh,
car
I prefer it.
is the front runner of the field, and speaking of the field, let's go to tonight's grid, and on pole we see a Lamborghini of Gunsis, followed by Maestro, looking out our top row.
Followed by them Mr. Bob and Gem Knight. Not a surprise the Lambos are up front. They do have long straights here.
Trampel, the fastest of Red Bulls, 5th, followed by Magnetize.
Then following them another Lambo of the Holy Moose and Cervatus in a Glick. Yay.
The first of Backmarkers Racing, Georgian 9th, followed by Mr. Thomas in 10th.
Neon Tiger takes the 11th place with D-Jump in 12th.
7th row is filled with Count Dodger and Biker.
With Sebi following them up and Panda, another backmarker. Woo, represent.
2 Mercs follow them, that's NCWG4 and Smart Pipe.
Mercs taking their usual position, Mach 1 Fireman behind them and Carl PC 200.
Resident Canadian Mr. Rollick 21st, followed by Martin 2-4.
With Rotor X2 and Rebel Cowboy behind them.
And apparently Rotrix again, and less cubes, on the last row.
If you might have guessed, and probably from the lack of triggering, I was not in this race. I forget what I had to do. I had to do something. But in any case, that's your grid. 2 Lambos up front. That should be an interesting race. 2 long straights, that should give them an edge, but there are enough corners that the other car should be able to make some hay while the sun is shining. And it is shining here, well, because rain isn't a thing in Assetto Corsa.
What is the night cycle? What is weather
Exactly.
system? We don't need any of that. We're gonna have 30 degrees Celsius all year round across the globe. I would love
Yep.
it, actually.
Yeah, that wouldn't mind that at all.
But yeah, we are still waiting for the lights. We're gonna have an insanely big start-finish straight heading into the first uphill lawn sweep and right-hand turn. As we see the lights 3, 4, and 5, and we are finally off for the second race of the season. The Glickenhaus is bogged down. Mr. Bob is losing positions right there. The rest of the field starts without many problems. Everybody is streaming down the start-finish straight into the first turn. 2 Lamborghinis in the middle, and somebody in the BMW is splitting them. That's Gem Knight. Getting second position so far, getting to the inside. I see a little bit of dust and a Mercedes wide and slow there. Everybody else seems to be getting just fine. There was a 3 wide right there. Cars are still trying to squeeze by one another. Gunsis keeps the lead, followed by Gem Knight, and Maestro is third right about now as we're going through the second chicane of this circuit.
Yeah, no, a really good jump for Gunsis there. Gem Knight managing to split the Lamborghinis, and a Mercedes going off into one of the chicanes. Well, I mean, that's pretty much what the Mercedes do this year. Just, that car is kind of, meh. They're going to have to really do something creative with the strategy at some point if they want to get anywhere.
Very true, very true. They don't have... It's
Pace.
a very average car that
Yeah.
does not have any advantages. They have to create them out of nothing, really.
Yeah.
As Gemknight had a nice jump on Maestro, who kind of fell asleep there at the front row, and everybody
Yeah, a
behind
little
him
bit.
is a little bit just waiting for somebody to make a mistake. The Glickenhaus of Mr. Bob is still not feeling too comfortable on the track going wide, as we rejoin right there as Cone Dodger, Georgian, and that's one of the Swedes going at it. Cone clips Graveler Road right there and clips Neon Tiger and stays in the middle of a track. Oh my, oh god, oh god.
Wow.
How
they
did
avoided him, I don't know.
How did it not end up in a massive wreck? I do not understand, but Cone Dodger clipped a little bit of gravel on the outside. I think he tagged Neon Tiger in the process, but everybody else seemed to survive somehow.
Yeah.
Gemknight
It
lost
looked
the
like he was
position
trying to
there.
use yeah, it looked like he was trying to use his aero advantage to basically take you around the outside, but, well, I mean, it was never really a move that was on. You swung it back out wide as normal line dictates, and, well, oopsie doopsie.
Yeah, Gemknight lost the position there, but regained it in turn 1. As Neon Tiger tries to regain what he lost in that track, he is currently 11th, right between Magnet and NCWG.
Yeah, unfortunate for him to get tagged like that and lose positions to no fault of his own, but karma has a way. Karma always has a way.
Beer and Whiskey vehicle is looking on the inside of Casanova and Savelli, which is... Oh! That is not how you rejoin. That is really not how you rejoin, Piker, and that is entirely on him.
It looks like that Space Kitty car just reached out and grabbed him by the pussy. Not a pretty sight for anybody involved. That's all on Piker. Last season's man of the season, driver of the season. I don't know if he identifies as a man, you know, it's 2016, but that was average.
Overcooked it in turn 6, got onto the grass and tried to rejoin as quick as possible, which did not end well. Clipped one of the beer and whiskey cars. I don't know who that was. I think it was Sebi, I'm not quite sure. As we rejoin, Neon Tiger tries to find the way around Cervatis, who is a little bit slow up in 9th as... Whoa, ho, ho, ho.
Nice pass.
Okay.
Oh, wait, but he's gonna get the crisscross. That's on.
Cervatis tries a crossover. He will have a little bit of a speed, but he will hit the red line sooner than Neon Tiger. As we see another battle right there, Gemknight and Maestro still going at it. They were going at it in Miates. Maestro completely overcooks this one, and this will open a space for Mr. Bob to jump inside. They'll go side by side into the first chicane. As long as Mr. Bob holds on to the inside right here, he should be safe. Yes, he is. There is a little bit of a tag, and Trempel is going to use it to his advantage. Maestro is losing positions like mad, but this is going to be the second chicane. Maestro has the inside, and he shuts the door into Trempel's face for now.
Basically. Well, either Maestro's running a higher downforce than I expected, or Gemknight's got his tuned way down, because it looked like Gem was able to keep with him on the straight, and was just able to use the superior grip of the BMW to make stuff happen. As we see a replay here of the start. Yeah, Merc there, 56, not getting a bad start, decent. See, this is probably going to be the calamity that befell somebody further down the track. We see everybody and their mother trying to get position up ahead into turn 1.
It's very wide along the straight. Oh, that's what happens. Both two Glickenhauses missed their braking points and punted people off the track. That's what happened. We see one of the Glickenhauses that belongs to mods and getting the braking all kinds of wrong.
Wow.
He was not going to make
who
that
it
turn.
was. And,
Almost got the second Mercedes.
Yeah.
And Rotrex 2 also probably having issues. He has to avoid at least 4 cars there. He is getting tagged all around.
Yeah, nothing he really could have done there.
Was a car to his inside that swung him wide, and the whole chain reaction started. Les Cube's taking an easy way out, just completely ignoring the turn there.
Yes, definitely an interesting way to take that corner. That's not how you do that. Nope, not with the Glick. You can't do that. BMW, you can get away with that. Glick, not so much.
Yeah, that car does not like any of the grasses. G-Jump is still right in it. As we see Les Cube's adventures continuing after that turn, and we see another car spinning in the background.
It's probably Marzen. No, not Marzen.
That was Rotrex. That's the continuation of that spin. He hot tires did not cool him down and just
I don't even know
went
if it was
around
hot
his wheel.
tires. You saw there he got on the grass. He might have just fucked himself.
He did, but
again.
that was a lot of understeer there, as we see Ronok's perspective, who goes wide as well in the same corner. It gets very, very unstable here, but looks like he just lost the position there. No biggie as of now, but he drives onto the grass for some reason. That was interesting. And he... Oh! I was about to say that he misses braking point, but somebody missed everything. Somebody...
Yeah, no, another Glickenhaus doing what Glickenhaus
Somebody missed the braking point and the plot in the same corner. That's it. That's Powers 244 getting inside. I think he just...
To be fair...
Oh, and he turned by Panda as well. I think he was just mesmerized by the spin and forgot to brake there.
Well, to be fair, he might have actually been able to take the corner at that speed. It might not have necessarily been a mistake. Just when Ronok was getting all out of shape, came back down a little bit. That might not have been the Glick's fault.
Ooh, still going that treble cowboy, taking a very, very interesting excursion off the track. He lost it in turn 6. Casanova first had to avoid a Glickenhaus trimming down his inside. And we see Mach 1 Fireman clipping the grass on the outside. And not a big adventure as of yet, just had to let pretty much everybody through. Return from gravel. You don't, yeah. you do not full throttle out of the gravel, and he does it again, again, and just hold the brakes. Just stay there.
At that point, I would have probably just.
And again. Okay.
I'm sorry, Mark, but after what happened today...
He is using low traction control, and he is full throttling it out of the gravel. And here's Powers losing it once again. I don't know what happened there, but nobody is able to keep it on the track.
The Glicks look like they're having a hell of a time here, I gotta say. As we see smoke up ahead... Oh, that was Cone.
That's what happened to Cone, and D-Jump got the worst of it. Yeah.
Had to avoid killing Cone Dodger. I mean, it's never a good thing.
That's we see from his perspective. Just spun around, tagged Neon.
Oh,
Whoa, 3 cars dodged there, and oh my god. From his perspective, I think the entire life flashed front of him. Okay, he made it work, but I do not agree to this rejoin, to be honest. As Ronok saw another spinning car and he himself got wide. Everything is still first lap, and here we see Magnet, that is lap 2, cock blocking the hell out of, I think that was Mr. Tommy's. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Tommy's doing one of his trademark rejoins where, well, he's just going to run you off the road.
Well, to be honest, it's not his fault there. He's trying to rejoin wide, and there is Wild Magnet using all the track and a little bit extra.
Well, then you wait for the car to go by. But in any case, it looks like a Glick being cautious, and, well, rightfully so, as a BMW.
Yeah, that's what happened with Piker. Yeah. Glickenhaus just did not that was Sebi, and he just did not expect him to rejoin there. You see Mr. Tom is fighting one of the Swedes, I assume it was Moose.
Yeah.
A little bit of tag.
Take out a Lamborghini and took himself out.
Race instant, really. 2 into 1 does not usually go. We see another replay from Panda. We're still in this stream of replays as he gets another braking zone, a little bit wrong, gets a little bit weird, but no major issue here as we finally go back live, spectating Maestro, who finds himself in 4th, losing 2 positions in the first 2 laps of a race.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be on. He seems to be a little bit off kilter this race. Normally he's, well, very aggressive, but usually aggressively moving forward, so we'll have to see how that pans out as the race continues. Everyone has a moment to breathe. Everyone has a moment to collect themselves. We got another 17 laps to go. God help us all, especially as poor commentators here.
Looked like Lamborghini was trying to make a dive bomb of the century there, but not even close.
Yeah, no, not gonna happen.
Lamborghini definitely has the pace on the Beamer, but not a lot of space to overtake apart from a start-finish straight, so he has to wait there. As Martin got a nice move there, fending off Piker, and at the same time trying to overtake the Mercedes in front of him.
Is he going sideways there?
I don't know, but that's an overtaking attempt by Maestro. Oh no! Mr. Bob, and that unsettled Mr. Bob Wiley, and I would say this is not exactly a legal move.
That unsettled me watching it. Yeah, moving under braking like that, generally frowned upon, but this is the Conelanders League. We don't have rules here, so you can do whatever the hell you want.
And Spiker did
including
exactly the
that.
same thing on Martin, to be honest. Cutting him off
Yeah.
and turning him around. Oh my god. Yeah, this is... Oh!
Nice maneuver from the BMW.
That's
Wow.
that's one hell of avoidance, and I would say this is not Biker's race. He is causing a lot of trouble. Just has to regroup, has to stop doing that, has to just get his shit together.
Well, you get in a mode, don't you? And we've both been sim racing for a long time. We know how it is. You see the red mist, you see the guy in front of you who just did you wrong, or who you think you're way faster than, and you just kind of go on autopilot and super aggressive.
Yeah, it's sometimes
adrenaline.
even general frustration of maybe even doing something wrong. Probably he accepts the blame and he knows it's his fault there in the turn 6 and first lap, and he is really probably pissed at himself, and that causes more and more aggression build up, and that causes more wrecks. As we see less cubes being in 24th.
Being less cubes, I thought you were gonna say. Sorry, Les.
No, he is not last, and we see a beer and whiskey car going obnoxiously slow, probably letting him through. I don't know what happened there. Les Cubes was so surprised as he decided to drive off the track and take the Glickenhaus with him. As we see another attempt of an overtake by Maestro on Gem Knight. This time around, the BMW will have the braking in here and will have the inside. Maestro does exactly the same thing again.
Yeah, this moving under braking stuff, again, in a series with no rules, you can get away with it, and it's a smart way to defend. He's definitely playing the system for all it's worth. And, well, gets it done. As we see here, a little bit of a tap, nothing too hard, just a little, hey, I'm here, don't fuck with me.
Gem Knight is not really happy about that maneuver and lets Maestro know exactly what he feels. And Spiker tries to make his move around, who's that? I think it's NCWG? Yes, it's NCWG. And as easy of an overtake as you can imagine right there for the BMW.
Yeah, really nothing happening there. So where are we? Let's see, who do we expect up front? Well, Gunsis and Maestro, 2 Lamborghinis, we kind of expected that from the beginning. Followed by Gem Knight, always strong in the BMW, and the BMW, let's be fair, has some strengths around this track, especially in the back section. As we see, is that Ponchik all out of shape?
Yeah, that was a lot of wiggle coming into turn 10, but he managed to keep it straight. Lost a little bit of time, but Gem Knight is too busy defending from Mr. Bob, who is coming from behind right now. And Glickenhaus has a little bit of an advantage in these corners as it has superior downforce, so Gem Knight has to hold on until the start-finish straight, when he can probably rebuild that gap using BMW's higher top speed and lead brake, and he can use into turn 1. Or not?
Yep, definitely. Well, let's see. I mean, the Glick's definitely going to get a little bit past here.
Mr. Bob trying to move down the inside, but I don't think it's the preferable move. I would have stayed behind and used the draft, because now the BMW is going to come back and he has the inside line, so unless something weird happens, I don't think Mr. Bob can hold on to it unless he manages to go round the outside in turn 1. We're going to wait and see the side-by-side enter in turn 1. Gem Knight is holding nicely. Mr. Bob trying his best, but just not enough space.
No, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario, because you could stay behind him fine, but the BMW does have higher top speed, better braking, and braking sectors are all that lead into the downforce sectors. So the Glick's advantage is basically neutralized before it can even begin. Get something done, he's going to have to probably do something risky or wait for the pit stop cycle. In any case, it's allowing the Lamborghini of Maestro some nice space to run away with it. And there's another Lambo closing there on Shrempile. That would be the Holy Moose. But we know the Moose has a loose caboose, so anything can happen with him. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see indeed, and pretty much all the Lamborghinis are slowly climbing back up to where they're supposed to be. All 4 cars running this weekend are in top 7 and starting to build a nice gap to everyone else, with the Jam, Mr. Bob and Trampel in the mix. Magnet is leading the second group. There is a 6-point gap between 2 groups right there in the top 10. As we are spectating NCWG trying to defend from Mr. Tommy's, that would be the fight for 14th position.
Yep, action happening all the way up and down the field as we're going to get a replay here. Gonna go wide. No, okay, so he's gathered it up nicely. Maybe the Glick's gonna... Nope, oversteer. Boop.
Oversteer at the exit, did not correct fast enough, and another clip of the wall, another Glickenhaus. Whoa, that is one slow Glickenhaus of Rotrex 2, and
Nope.
Mach1 Fireman had to evade, and I think he just forgot to brake after that. Another
Got distracted by the
Glickenhaus.
fancy lights.
Yeah, another Glickenhaus gone wide. That is Sebi. He's gonna accelerate too early and go up the hill and into the fence. Oh my god, the camera freaked out a little bit.
Yeah, a little. Yeah. Wide lines are capable. You can do them in the Glick as, well,
So I'll just
it's
stay
a
on track.
downforce car. But, yeah, you gotta stay on the track between the white lines.
And another attempt of a late break-in. Late break-in and Glickenhaus does not mix this race well.
No.
As
No, it
Powers
doesn't.
goes around once again.
You would think that, you know, after a while you'd learn that. I mean, use the advantages you've got. As we see, another
DJ does
team
exactly the
being
same
dropped.
thing.
Yep. Just. Yeah, I'm actually currently now catching up on the Sandown 500, and the guys in the V8s were doing the same sort of thing, just hitting a curb. That curb was wet, to be fair, but still, just trying to accelerate off of a curb as we see
another one.
another lazy spin.
Yeah, it seems like it's the story of this race. You tap the grass, you tap the curb, as I assume gonna happen once again here. Yep, another clip of a grass and a curb, and another car goes around, and you cannot really correct it from there. You can just hope for a soft impact.
Yeah. Hopefully the Glicks realize that sooner or later. They do have strengths. The downforce does help, and it would be really interesting racing to see them mixing it up with the other two cars.
Also, I want to point
Mercedes.
also I want to point out that Trotrex 2 already pitted within
Oh,
first
wow, I
6
didn't know.
laps. He's currently lapped by the leader, so I don't think it's gonna matter much. But maybe he'll gain some advantage in backmarkers fight as Lamborghini makes a mockery out of BMW right until the breaking point when BMW just neutralizes all that advantage. But Trampel couldn't hold it around the outside, and Moose is up to 5th. As we see a battle between Biker and Carl. Carl almost slamming into the side of Biker there, but...
Damn it, Carl!
And another fight that is Smart Pipe and Neon Tiger. Neon has the inside. Smart Pipe is trying to move around the outside, and I think he's gonna finalize that. Yes, he is ahead. That's a fantastic move around the outside in turn 1. Bravo.
Yep.
Neon Tiger tries to look up the inside, but not enough speed on the exit, and that's a done move.
Yeah, you have to get creative with the Mercedes, otherwise you're really going to be anywhere at any time. So great job there. Good awareness. Pulled off the move nicely. I would expect that Neon would have an advantage to take him back at some point. However, track position is quite important here, as we were talking earlier about the Glick BMW battle. If you can stay ahead of them before their strong sectors, you can pretty much neutralize any attempts of an overtake.
Pretty much, as we are switching to another battle in top 10, that is Servatis trying to gain some positions. He is currently in 9th, has 2 cars in front of him, a BMW and a Lamborghini, and a huge gap ahead of a Lambo. That would be a about 5 seconds. Something happened to the Moose. He's now behind Tremple and 3 seconds between them. Something happened there.
As I said, loose caboose. You never know.
Very
when
true.
He's going to slide off.
Servatis,
He's quick, but inconsistent.
Yes, Servatis tries to go for the inside line, but doesn't have enough speed. But he will try to get some draft, desperately trying to break the draft. Is the backmarkers racing BMW ahead. Servatis has the inside line, will have to make it stick right there. Oh, very, very, very slidey BMW, but still facing the wrong direction, both the cars, and Servatis gains the position. He is up to P8. Cone Dodger is fighting both of Team UK cars. One of the UK cars was so mesmerized that it decided to just leave the track. Oh, Martin missed the braking point a little bit. Tried to get Mr. Thomason still side by side there.
Together. Oh God, help everybody.
Cone Dodger is probably thanking God that he is not involved in that anymore, as he cleared all 3 cars, and we see another spinning Team UK car back then. And Mr. Thomas also managed to get the pass down on both Team UK cars, and both of them are gone. Oh, here you go! Cutting across the grass was Martin.
No, I'm not. Never mind. That was too far even for me. If we go back to the battle now between yourself and Servatis, once again entering the Glick's strong area. Every time I say Glick, I'm like really concerned that I'm gonna fuck it up and almost say something racial. Like, yeah, because it's me. Right there, the Glick gained about a quarter of a second, I'd say, advantage. But then going into this next complex, you should, whoa, you look like you were sideways there a little bit. You should have a top speed advantage. Probably not enough to overhaul him and to overtake him now, but start making inroads. So we snap back to, well, the man with the plan who just went, oh, speaking of plans, that wasn't the plan. Mercedes using his ass to hip check a BMW.
Well, that's one way to keep a car away, and Karma bit him right in the ass. As he slides off and lets the car through immediately. And that's, I saw what happened to Moose right there, coming into turn 12, Corentaya, and that's the first time ever a Lamborghini oversteered.
Yeah, we almost never, ever see that. But we did. It's the white whale, it's the albino snake, it's the whatever weird combination of things you want to think about. As we see here, Tommy's move on Mercedes.
Yeah, Mr. Thomas does Mr. Thomas. Yeah. Absolutely no space to go, as he's gonna rejoin. Oh my freaking lord.
Yeah.
That is still not good by Mr. Thomas.
We don't enjoy harping on, well, we kind of do, but we don't harp on people to be assholes. We do it because, well, you done fucked up. And that was one of those moments. So we see an out-of-shape Glick. What else is new in this race? They've been not having the best of times. And then this is, I don't remember who's 42.
That is Magnets, number 42. Clipping the grass a little bit and having to go incredibly wide, losing a lot of track positions there. As we see what happened there, Martin trying to fend off Mr. Tommy's. Tommy's very clean for once, and Martin just lost it all by himself in the grass, and I assume in the next corner he's gonna lose it even more. Maybe a frustration, maybe again another Glickenhaus thing, and as he turns in breaks and turns incredibly late and has to cut across the entire section.
Yeah, no, the thing I noticed, I did drive the Glick a little bit. With most cars, BMW especially, you can get a feel for the brakes pretty easily. You know generally, okay, I need to brake here, I need to brake there. The fine minutia, you know, 1 meter later or earlier, you have to work that out in any car, but with the BMW, it's at least predictable. With the Glick, you never seem to know where it's going to go. Like, in one corner, you could be fine, and okay, I made this, and then the next one, it'll just fly off the track.
Also, I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop you right there, because that was a spectacular move by Carl, round the outside of Neon Tiger, and clean even before turn 1 was done. That was spectacular. As we see Panda and Rebel Cowboy right there, Panda is looking for a crossover, tries to slot behind Rebel, does so, will have the outside here, will he be able to hold on? Not quite. Rebel Cowboy shuts the door successfully, and no space for number 10. Backmarker's racing car.
Yeah, it gets a little bit wide for good measure, but yeah, that move was never on. That overtake, yeah, that gave me a bit of a semi as I was talking, and you know, any more excitement, and I would have had to take a break.
As we were rebelling about it, Les Cubes also has pitted. No, he's not that big. Has pitted, and currently 25th already also lapped as Mr. Bob tries to make a move on Gemini again. In the same corner, and I think we're gonna see a replay of the same thing as he overtakes in the last corner, but gets retaken on the start-finish straight. All that downforce he has on the car is really not helping him on the straight, as BMW is getting ahead, almost clean by, but he'll have the outside
clean. Bit of a drift, understeered.
Yeah, he still has a
little
bit of an
advantage
advantage on the inside, but no, Mr. Bob shuts the door, and no move just yet from Gemini, as Mr. Bob regains third position, but Maestro and Gunsis are a little bit gone. There we see Maestro a whole chicane ahead. Then you see cars beaten, that is number 56 on of SWG. I think that's Mr. Thomas ahead and Neon Tiger in the pits. That means we're gonna have our pit window open as we switch to our... Whoa, that is Powers 24th getting out of the way, being lapped as we see our leader Gunsis. We're probably tracking him because he will be pitting very soon, probably this very lap.
He looks on it, doesn't it? You can tell by the way he's moving the car around. He's got this race. The only way he can lose it now is if he royally fucks up. It's good to see at least one of the Glicks having a decent race there, Mr. Bob fighting it out for the podium. But yeah, Ponchik after his early adventures is a ways behind, and just Goons is just... I'm just watching the way he moves his car, and it just looks beautiful.
Well, a ways behind is still 3 seconds. It's one mistake, really.
True, which is why I said, I mean, Goons has this race unless...
And
if he fucks up, yeah. Otherwise, it's his. As
we see what happened to Neon Tiger. Too tight, clips the grass, goes for a ride of his life in turn 6 and 7. Rejoins across, and that was almost another disaster as a Mercedes had to avoid. I think that's what happened right there. NCWG minding his own business. Yeah, that was terrible from Neon Tiger.
Yeah.
And I need to really see if Neon got ahead, because that could have been a redress situation. Because, yeah.
Oops.
So 99 car of Powers loses it once again there. Glickenhaus is not having a good day as D-Jump is facing the wrong way. Once again, probably 4th or 5th time today. Just not a good race for them. As we are back with the leader in the pit lane, followed by Maestro as well right there. There is someone backing off into the pits. That would be John from 24th being lapped. We'll see.
It pours.
Both Lamborghinis, also Mr. Bob and Gemini, did not stop. Both of them are through and into the lead of this race.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they're able to get anything going or if the undercut proves too strong. Either way, it won't be that much. I'd assume that laps 9, 10, 11 are the standard pit window. You see Jump now.
That is bad. Jump rejoins right ahead of the Lamborghini. Gunsis tries to go around, but not enough space between the white lines. He respects the lines. Goes for a move. Jump should let him go, really, for the sake of everyone. Gunsis goes around the outside. The Jump does not try to make a move, and that is clean pass. Lost a little bit of time, but not too bad. And the Jump might try to get a little bit of that draft from him. As we see a battle between Piker and Magnet. Magnet's screwed up a little bit, and Piker is through into turn 6.
A good clean pass from him. Hopefully that'll help restore a little bit of his confidence, get a rhythm back, and just start picking him off.
Yeah, despite all the drama there in the middle of a pit window, he is currently 4th, which will probably filter out to around 8th after the pit cycle. But it's still respectable after what happened to him early on, given... Well, he did punt a couple of cars, but he himself was hurt by that as well, and now he's regaining positions. Still fighting with Magnet for that track position. Both of them have to pit. Probably both of them gonna pit sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I assume whoever's behind will end up just following the guy head in. Hope to get a quicker pit stop or something of those order. Those order? Wow, English, I can do it. Yeah, the one thing to say about the D-Jump situation is Goons has got by him clean. Now I'm interested to see if what's his face, if Maestro is able to get by him just as clean. It could be a factor depending on if Ponchik is faster than Goons, and if Ponchik can find his rhythm, he might be able to catch him up. But I still think this is Goons' race to win.
True, Mr. Bob and Serratis both on the pit lane, and Gunsis and Maestro rejoin ahead of both of them, so order restored. Biker and Magnet did not stop now, they're 2nd and 3rd. Gemini also continuing on his way. He's trying a massive overcut. I don't think that's gonna work, but we're gonna wait and see. As Panda overcooks the chicane, again a little bit of grass, more grass and gravel here. Did not spin, let off the throttle, but let his teammate through. I'm not sure which one of them was it.
Whoa.
As we see a little bit of lagging going on, yeah, there's gonna be an issue for a couple of laps. We see another vehicle that's Carl PC200 living the pits, and he's gonna battle in those two cars behind him. The Glickenhaus, I think, is gonna go through, and I'm not so sure about that Merc. Actually, I'm not even sure about the Glickenhaus. No, he's through.
Oh, but the Glick fucked up.
Glick is going wide, and
Whoa,
he
or not.
will have the inside line here, but has to defend. There's an overtake complete. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, the lagging is going on here. There is a side-by-side between the Glickenhaus and the Merc. Glickenhaus is slow, very slow, letting everybody through. That Glickenhaus... Glickenhaus? Yeah, that Glick. That...
Yeah, now you see why I just called it a Glick.
Shut up. That was Mach 1 Fireman, and he also let Conelanders through right there. I don't know what's happening to that guy, but he was really slow. As we're gonna witness this car driven by me for a couple of laps, because as the lag is client side and Assetto Corsa does exactly fuck all to compensate for the lag, all the cars around are gonna jump, and that is the only car that's not gonna plow into every wall in a fit of lag for the next couple of laps. So bear with us.
Yes, technical difficulties, backmarker style, which usually means just a normal broadcast, but in this, whoa.
Yeah, you see cars flying off the cliff there.
Oh dear God, this is special. This is just all kinds of special.
Thank you, Kunos, for providing wonderful entertainment for the entire family.
Yeah, so we have no idea where anyone is right now. I'm assuming that the leaderboard lags as well, so I mean that is just
There is Magnet rejoin, and he will lose the track position, but he will stay right behind, so that's gonna be a battle at some point.
Yep, BMW versus Lambo. It seems to be the main battle of this year. The two cars have very distinct advantages, and really they're the fastest two out of them all. So it's usually good fun when the two of them get together, and we'll have to see if the fun continues, or if the lag just sends one of them up into the ass of Timo. We don't know.
Also, gonna point out that Les Cubes was in the pits once again. This is his second pit stop, and he is back on track, lapped by leaders. Still not last. Trotrix 2. There he goes. Now he is last. Trotrix 2 just overtook him. Extra pit stop. I don't know why, and he has still 7 laps to go.
Penalty? No, there are no penalties here, except for jumping the start, and that
Also-
would have had to have been served earlier.
Also, Gemnite is finally in the pits,
Whoa.
and we're gonna see what happens to the leaders right there. As Gemnite will spend quite some time in the pits there, Gunses and Maestro were ahead of him, and Mr. Bob was in the fight, as Magnet is trying to make a move into the lag fest, so really nobody knows where he is actually. Also, I'm gonna point out that Powers and Mach 1 Fireman, both from Beer and Whiskey, haven't pitted yet. They're delaying their pit stops as Gunses and Maestro reclaimed the lead from Gemnite, and Gemnite returned forward behind Mr. Bob. So really nobody overtook anyone in this pit cycle. As... Oh, that is a lag crash.
Wow.
That is a lagging vehicle actually having physical properties and punting another car off the track.
Yep, wonderful coding there. Yeah, what more can I say about that? That's bullshit. Although it did happen between me and two of the Mercs in Nürburgring.
Yep.
If you guys remember, one of them lagged up a bit, and whoa. Okay.
More
Breaking the
lag.
laws of space and time.
More lag as Martin collects another wall. The lag is gonna clear up soon-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's like half a lap of this left, as Mach 1 Fireman finally goes to the pit lane, and Powers refuses. Maybe he gonna pull a no-stopper. Actually, no, he can, because there is a rule that you have to use 2-tire compounds for some weird reason, because Glickenhaus is not a GT3 would be a correct explanation, but I digress.
Wait, there are actual rules?
I know, and this one doesn't make sense, and it's the only one. Either way, we have switched from the number 34 car, so that means the lag is mostly cleared. We're spectating Piker, who is in the fight with Cone Dodger. Seems to be a common theme along the last couple of seasons. That'll be the fight for P11 as we switch to Neon Tiger, who is right behind a Mercedes.
Yep, being behind a Mercedes is never a good thing, just ask me. They can be quite wide when they want to be. Literally, too. I mean, it's a wide-ass car, so it's hard to overtake. But I suspect he'll get it done somewhere sooner rather than later, as it looks like the lag is clearing up, thank God. So we won't have any more cars flying through walls and/or floors and/or the sky.
And or other vehicles.
Yeah, Tommy's behind. Tommy's is behind, though. So Neon needs to get this done unless he wants to be taken out. I mean, overtaken. We'll have to see if that happens.
And Power 2 for 40, by the way, just pitted 15 laps in, and I assume he's gonna have soft tires for the end of the race. And he is within striking distance of jump, and that's about it, so that's not gonna help him much, but he might get one position from that, and, well, if it's there, you have to take it.
Yeah, at some point, the lap's winding down. You just got to start taking more risks. I mean, there was no need for Piker to be driving like he was earlier. That was just too hard too soon. Although as the laps wind down, you do need to start to take those risks, trying to be a little bit more adventurous, and if you want to get the positions. Otherwise, you're just going to run and finish behind the guy in front of you, as
yeah, pretty much as Neon lost the draft of the car ahead, and Mr. Thomas is going to look down the inside, not going to dive bomb here.
Yeah, you can look, but you better not touch.
He did it once in this race already. He decided not to do it twice,
and fuck himself.
Neon did a tank slapper and managed to keep the car on the track. Well, kudos to him for that, but Mr. Thomas sneaked by and into what would be P14.
Yeah, unless your name is Master Poncho, keeping the car on the track is usually preferable, which he did, so... Good catch there from Tiger, but yeah, just overcooked it. Maybe the pressure having a car behind you. I know in our recent race today that I had a car behind me, and you definitely, no matter how much you try to tell yourself, yeah, just do what you do, you just feel the pressure as it closes in on you. So, maybe a mistake. Whatever, just move on and keep going.
Here we see a little bit of a trolley train going, led by me. The next car ahead is has a 12-second gap. And this is fight for P10, P9 actually starting. There is Carl PC right behind with Piker and Cone Dodger closing the gap for what is soon to be a 4-man train. Again, if you know how to defend, and I'm the one that defends furiously, you can make the car incredibly wide here and make it insanely difficult.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you and me both. I had my own adventures in Nürburgring, exploring defensive limits as we see another purple glick off the track. I'm gonna guess Ma. I'm not sure though.
Look like Powers getting lapped.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, everyone's been having a torrid day in the glick as we see partial dive bomb almost from Tommy's there. But,
almost. NCWG saw it and decided to go wide to avoid wrecking himself, as he's probably gonna shut the door on Tommy's for that, yeah. Given no opportunity there. Tommy's has a little bit of a run, but NCWG is leaving him exactly one car with and not an extra millimeter. Nice driving by NCWG, shutting every door he has, not giving Tommy's any free passes.
Yeah, I gotta say, the Merc might be a shitty car, but some of the drivers there are pretty damn good. They got their heads on straight, and they will fight. They're not just gonna let you just blow by them.
And they have to drive the wheels off the thing to keep it somewhat competitive.
Pretty much, yeah. As let's see, the Truly Train continues.
Truly Train continues, but Piker retook the role of the first unfortunate participant of the Truly Train from Carl PC, who is currently having a fight with Cone Dodger. There you go, side by side. Cone Dodger going for the inside line here, makes a pass on Carl. Carl will try to cross him over right there, clips a little bit of a grass and swings back behind, and will have draft onto the start-finish straight. We'll see. Glickenhaus is gonna be hampered by all the downforce on the straight, so maybe there'll be a reverse overtake as we see another replay that is Powers once again losing it in Arrabbiata. Glickenhaus nightmare continues.
Yeah, as I said earlier, when it rains it pours, and there we have another. That was the moment that we saw, so that was Powers. You were correct. Just having a torrid race. See a Merc now. Probably gonna do the same thing.
His last cube swinging it way too wide into current tire turn 12. Stopping on the track. Is he done for the day? I wonder. He is left stationary as we see another Glickenhaus probably doing exactly the same thing. That's another curb and that's another attempted spin. He keeps it alive. Not now. Swinging wide and he's not gonna make the corner and he's gonna get turned again. Yeah, this is the race to forget for Glickenhaus, and that might hamper them immensely in the Constructors' Championship. As there is Lescube's rejoin, and that was his third pit stop, and he's back on track with 4 to go. As we have a fight. Continuing Carl PC and Conelanders just in 4th position. A bit of a sight for both of them to piss off, really, swerving into each other a little bit.
Yeah. Nobody wants to give any quarter, and with the laps winding down, it's understandable.
Yeah, but Carl regains the position. It's still outside the top 10. Mr. Thomas tries another move. NCWG drives himself wide, and that's not a rejoin you should be aiming towards. And that was a nice battle, and Neon Tiger is gonna pick both of them at the same time. Thank you very much as he drives away. And we see a slow car that is Servati is very, very slow in Arrabbiata. And the entire Truly train is gonna get around him. That is gonna be very difficult for Piker to keep. He's gonna go around him. He completes the move, and now it's the 5-car train. Oh my god, this is gonna be ugly. It's gonna get incredibly ugly. With 2 laps to go, everyone is gonna get impatient right there. As both Carl and Servatis lose with a synchronized spin, Carl just ended insult to injury and spinning himself back there. So 2 cars eliminated from the train. Condoger is gonna have a little bit of free space. Biker is right behind me fighting for that P8 right now as Servatis messed up and gifted everybody in the train another position. Cone will have to get some draft right there to stay within these two, as Biker will go for a draft move. He's gonna swing the car out the outside if he wants to get this position. Never mind. He is almost clear as of now. He will have to go around the outside, not given any extra space right there. He has the speed, he has the pace, he will have the inside for the next turn, and he will shut the door. This is a clean pass. Condoger is behind. He will fancy a move right here as we have 1.5 laps to go, really. He has to get a move now.
Yep, well, with the Truly train now clear of some of its slower passengers, let's say, and whoa, hi there. Are you alive? Are you still with us?
Partially.
No? Okay. But, yeah, with the Truly train clear of some of the slower passengers, it's now down to the quick 3. Piker should have, well, now that it is clear, he should have the advantage and be able to start slowly pulling away from you. Redeeming himself somewhat after the adventures in the beginning. But now it's going to come down, of course, between you and Cone, 2 different manufacturers. But Cone is quick, and he's known to use all the track and a little bit more to position himself in the best way possible. Yeah,
that did hurt him early in the race, but he's going to set up a move in the same general place if he wants, because that is the strong point of Glickenhaus, and he has to pass there. And we switch to our leader Gunsis on the penultimate lap. And here we see his teammate Maestro. He is very, very close. I think that's a second. And we see 2 cars in front of him. These are back markers. And that might get really, really ugly for Gunsis as we see another bunch of replays. And I will continue what I thought after we see less cubes getting wide again and probably spinning once again on not. Instead he got wide and into the wall. I think he just gave up there. He parks it again and goes to pits again. Yeah, that's another time. And we see Cone there. We didn't see it live, and Cone outbroke himself into the gravel, and that's the end of that fight.
Yeah.
Stalled a little bit. Oh, and there is Carl right there, storming back onto the track and regaining the position from Cone.
Yeah, uncharacteristic from Cone. He normally doesn't make mistakes like that. Normally he's not necessarily that. Whoa.
Oh, and another mistake, really forgetting to pull away. As we're going back, and I will continue my thought, there are two back markers. There is a beer and whiskey car and another one. If they back him up, and there are two cars also fighting for position, they won't give up that easily. And Gunses has to make his way past them. And Maestro might close the gap, and they might have a fight.
He already has closed the gap. Maestro is way closer. This
Yeah, they are teammates, but there is a Drivers' Championship on the line, and 1-2 might be in jeopardy. Maestro is not known for backing off and settling for the second place. He will go for that move as we see another battle. Mr. Tom is looking for the inside of Neon Tiger, getting inside, getting the pass done already. Neon Tiger will not be even close, I don't think so, unless Thomas is very slow.
He can dive him.
Actually, he is. Thomas was very slow and brilliant. Brilliant move from Neon Tiger right there to regain position. As
We
we
were looking for the word brilliant.
Shao. As we're going back to the leaders, Maestro is right behind. This will be Panda and who's ahead of him? Macon and Fireman. They're fighting for 18th place. This is a fight for position between two cars ahead of him. As the leaders get white flag, 1 lap to go. Maestro knows the situation. Maestro knows he can win this race because Gunses will be in all sorts of trouble in the last lap. Gunses had the race under control from start to finish, but it might all just crumble to pieces there. He tries a move, but Panda is slowing him down a little bit before just getting out of the way of everyone. There is another car. Brilliant move by Team UK car, just getting the hell out of the way of the leaders, just not messing with that. But still, Maestro is within a second. He is within draft. He is within striking distance. Team UK car is all out of shape there. They're going through turn 6 and 7. Casanova Savelli. Gunses is still ahead. He still has 1 car to pass. The lap traffic is gonna be an issue. He is too close for comfort. He will have to make that move. This is Mike 1 Fireman. He's not fighting for position. He should probably be able to just pull over and let both the cars by. This is very close. Gunses will have to go around the outside. This is very suboptimal. Maestro is just following him. They are very close to each other. Maestro is within striking distance, clipping a little bit of a grass on the exit of turn 11. Pelagio going to Corin Tire turn 12. Maestro is still not looking, still not close enough. Gunses swinging a little bit wide, a little bit slow. Maestro has nowhere to go, has to slow down. They still have just 2 corners to go, not an overtaking corner Biondetti right there. Maestro is a little bit further behind than he was. 1 corner to go. Busini, turn 14. If Gunses gets this one right, Maestro is trying to drive down the inside. Not even close. Gunses is still in control. Maestro has to get a little bit of a draft and has to get a little bit of luck on the exit. Gunses is still in control, but there is a long way to go to the start finish. Maestro is trying to get the win, not close,
Nope.
and Gunses will win the race in a spectacular fashion. I'm all out of breath. Get this commentary done. I'm dying right there.
Yeah, fantastic finish there from the last 2. Mach 1, well, to be fair to him, it was a section of track where he really couldn't do anything to get out of the way. I mean, I guess with the way that the Glicks have been going this race, he could have flown off the track and nobody would have known the difference. But in any event, a great race there with Gunses coming out on top.
And this
is not
over. This is not over. This is Carl PC and Conelanders still for position. 1 corner to go. Conelanders goes diving down the inside. This is last turn. He is slowing back down. He is not going to overtake. He's going to wait for the straightaway to get the draft. Carl PC is fast. He's going to swing wide at the exit. Cone is right behind him in the draft pocket. He goes to the inside. This is going to be a drag race to the finish line, side by side. Carl PC and Cone Dodger. Cone will have Downforce dragging him down, and Carl PC wins by a hair. Wow, this is probably the closest finish in Conelanders I've ever seen. This is not going to be even a 10th, I believe, between those cars. Fantastic finishes all around, and we're not done yet. Neon Tiger fends off Mr. Tommy's for a position. Car goes wide there. NCWG gonna get a position from his teammate Smart Pipe, who is gonna get it all wrong in the very last turn of the race. 56 car is very slow out of a corner, and Smart Pipe is gonna have a run on him. Smart Pipe is gonna have a run into the start finish straight. Not quite close. Another close finish.
You know what that looked like? That looked like Schumacher Barrichello.
An attempt of letting through? Maybe.
Yeah, well, sort of, just like, showboating, basically.
Also, another Mercedes getting it all wrong in the last corner and losing a position. That was a Rebel Cowboy getting a position to Glickenhaus belonging to Beer and Whiskey team. I would assume that was Mach 1 fireman there. As we spectated Martin, one of the last cars to finish the race. As we finally get to calm down a little bit. This race went from 0 to 100 very, very fast.
Well, it started a bit chaotic with everyone kind of touching one another inappropriately, and then there was a lull. It was a pretty average sort of middle section as we see Marzin, ending up like Marzin usually does. Just that was the fault of the AI taking over, I guess. I think this is the final car crossing. Is this power?
That's Jump,
Jump
from Team UK. Finally ending his misery. This is Powers, still going on the track, still being forced to suffer for one more lap. He has half a lap to go. He is through turn 11, 3 corners. 3 very, very difficult for Glickenhaus corners. This has been a race from hell for this guy.
Yeah, pretty much for all of the Glicks. It was suboptimal. What more can you say? I mean, it's one of those things where you start getting out of shape and you keep getting more out of shape. Not really a strong track for them. A few corners, yes, favor the Glick, but not the track as a whole. I bet he's going to be glad to be getting out of this car and done with this race. Although
probably gonna go. Keep going.
Yeah. It's not the end of the world. We do drop a race here, so one bad race is not going to kill you. As we see the winner from Team Scandinavia, Gunses Austrian, I think, or Latvian. Latvia. It looked like Austria for a second.
A Latvian from Team Scandinavia wins the race.
Yes.
As we go to our final table, Gunses takes a win. Just 3/10 separates the leaders as Maestro finishes second, followed by Mr. Bob, the best of the Glickenhauses, followed by Gemini, the Holy Moose, Trempel, the best rookie, Magneto, Spiker, Georgian, and Carl PC, another rookie, round out our top 10, just probably thousands ahead of Cone, plus 55.519, and Cone is just 300 behind.
Yep, and then following Cone, Cervatis, Neon Tiger, Tommy's, NCWG 64, Smart Pipe, Mach 1 Fireman, Rebel Cowboy, Panda, and Sebi. I have to say, good recovery there from Piker after a hellish first couple of laps. Back up into the top 10, respectable effort, as we see Gunses is now playing Thumper.
Gunses did play Thumper this race, as Martin finishes 21st, followed by Mr. Ronak, Jump, Powers 240, Rotrix 2 laps behind, and Lesky was just giving up on life and race with 5 laps down and parking the car early.
Yeah, I can't blame him. It was a bad race. As Gunses is going to Thumper once again. He really likes to thump his way around, as we're going to see now. Jesus, Gunses, stop it, man!
He really wants to hammer the point across that he destroyed everybody in this race.
Yeah,
as we got to season standings, Mr. Bob on top with 225 points. This is unusual. Followed by Gemini 3 points behind. Gunses with this race win gets 3rd place, followed by his teammates Maestro Ponchik and Magneto as Piker gets 6, Gondorj down to 7th with not the perfect race. The Holomoose gets 8th place, I am still in 9th, and Trempel, the best rookie, in 10th.
Speaking of the rookie standings, Trempel's up on top with 179 points. RLPC trailing him by a grand total of 32. Smart Pipe in 3rd, Mr. Ronak then in 4th. 5th is Mr. Tommy's, and Viperion with no points.
He was there. Let's say that.
Yeah, he exists in some dimension where points are meaningless. But speaking of meaningless things, that's our commentaries. We see the team standings just before we leave you with Space Kitties up on top, Scandinavia and Immigrants, I assume the Explodey types, behind in 2nd, Red Bull in 3rd, Dang in 4th, 5th Team UK, Backmarkers in 6th, Beer and Whiskey, and an American Irish Racing. Not up in there.
And in Constructors, Lamborghini is running away with it, followed by BMWs at 4. Glickenhaus is comfortably in 3rd, and Mercedes is, well, there. And on that note, that's it for today. we will meet you next time in Belgium, the legendary Spa-Francorchamps, when more hilarity and carnage will ensue. Until then, my name was Ilya Babansky, joined by Mathew Ruda, and goodbye.
See you guys later. Have a good one. Yay!
We'll cut that out.
No, we won't.